My girlfriend for 4 years is mentally ill because I refused to marry her. We met online in 2018, and a year later she moved into my apartment. Initially, everything was great. She was loving, caring, and took on house chores. She actively sought a job to contribute to rent, even though I provided all the income. I remained hopeful that she would help keep us afloat. Over the following 3 years, she only managed to work for a total of 2 months. Despite efforts to find employment, various reasons such as COVID, health issues, hobbies, or events always seemed to hinder her. Despite her seeming to spend most of her time relaxing on the couch, I tried not to nag her, hoping for a change at any moment. Well, it did change significantly. In February 2023, she experienced a mental break. She lost almost all her sleep, suffered constant panic attacks, and couldn't eat. It was the most awful and exhausting month of my life. Despite my efforts to help, we argued a lot due to her irritability and stress. She cried frequently and craved attention, needing assistance with every mundane task. Eventually, she ended up in a private dental clinic, which was expensive, and I struggled to afford it. A month later, she was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder and depression and prescribed medication. She attributed her mental break to her relationship with her parents and our long cohabitation without marriage. I explained that while I loved her, I wanted to marry someone who would have my back in times of trouble. I encouraged her to find a job and pursue personal interests, as we had discussed before dating. She agreed and made an effort. Fast forward to the present. She hasn't succeeded in finding a job, and her mental health is unstable again. She experiences panic attacks and struggles to perform daily tasks. Although she is on medication, her psychiatrist suggested that she would benefit from being in a clinic, which I cannot afford. Recently, during an argument, she expressed feeling down because I won't marry her and threatened to starve herself if I leave her. It appears that I may be unintentionally hurting her and expecting something that was never meant to happen. When we started dating, I never anticipated providing and caring for both of us. While we still love each other, I feel like this relationship is doomed one way or another. My friend used me to conduct a loyalty test for her girlfriend. When I was 18, a friend of mine had the brilliant idea to use another friend's social media account to hit on her boyfriend and perform a loyalty test. I immediately told them that it was extremely stupid, but they decided to go through with it. The guy was clearly feeling extremely uncomfortable, but the hints given to him were subtle, and he did not know how to handle it. I immediately texted him and told him what was going on. He thanked me and told me that he is going to make them cry. When they were in tears, he asked me to kiss his partner on the cheek and send his regards. He started responding provocatively, sent her a picture of his abs, gave her his address, and invited her for some fun. The friend doing the test is crying, the other girl is screaming, and I am laughing hysterically. Upon revealing the prank, the prankster calls her boyfriend to apologize, and the other girl slaps me and bites me. We are all friends to this day, but they have never forgiven me for this.
My boyfriend of 12 years has told me he's had a baby. How do I get over this? I've been with my boyfriend since we were both 13. I always imagined we would be together forever. He is the only boyfriend I've ever had, and I've only slept with him. I've given up so much for him. I didn't pursue my chosen career or go to university, as it would have meant moving away from him. I passed up the opportunity to move abroad with my family, and now I have no family living in this country. I also passed up traveling and nights out with friends during what should have been the best years of my life. We own a house together, and though we split the mortgage, I put the full $10K deposit down because I am in a better financial position than him. I always envisioned growing old with him, spending my life with him, and having kids with him. We briefly broke up in December and early January after an argument. During that time, he slept with somebody else but didn't tell me. We got back together and nothing was said about it. Yesterday, he spoke to me, very upset, and revealed that in September, he had a baby girl with a woman he had a one-night stand with. I asked why he didn't tell me sooner, and he said he doubted the child was his and wanted to block it all out. The girl contacted his mother, and a grandparent DNA test proved she's the grandmother. Since then, his mother has been arguing with him about being involved, as she sees the baby every weekend, and told him he needs to tell me. He only told me because his mom said she would if he didn't. I don't know how to handle this. My boyfriend is crying, saying he felt trapped. The girl told him she was on contraceptives and allergic to condoms. He's not ready, doesn't want to lose me, and is making threats on himself if I leave him. I don't know what to do. Do I forget these past 12 years and all I've ever known and move on? Or do I forgive him and try to make this work? Updatey. I did message the girl, probably against my better judgment, and asked it how we could move forward. I sent her my best wishes. She responded that she doesn't care if he does or doesn't want to be involved and that the door is open, but she's glad his family is involved. Then she blocked me. I don't want a stepchild at all, and I don't even want a child of my own for at least another 5 years. I asked him how we would move on from this, and he said, "We will just pretend the child doesn't exist and go about our lives." This disgusted me because I never thought he was the type of coward to abandon an innocent child. I don't want to be seen as enabling him to do that. I truly believe that even if I were out of his life, he wouldn't see the child. With us still together in that situation, I'd be seen as the evil one and as if I somehow condone his actions. I envisioned him as a strong man of good character, and the fact that he doesn't want involvement with the child, keeps referring to the baby as it, and has even blocked his mom off of everything because she is seeing the baby, and he doesn't want her to, makes me look at him in a different cowardly light, and is giving me the ick. If he had told me when he found out that he'd got a girl pregnant but they'd need a DNA test, then got a DNA test when the baby was born and he'd stuck by the kid, I don't think I'd even be asking this question. I'd be upset and not want to be a step-parent, and I doubt I would be involved myself for a few years, but I'd have supported him and accepted his mistake. The way he's gone about it has ruined everything. If he truly loved me and cared about me, he would have told me from day one. My mother told my boyfriend I was cheating on him. I specialize in art commissions, and my boyfriend has always been supportive of my art. He even modeled poses I needed for some commissions when his body type matched the client's requirements. We share a circle of friends, some of whom go to the gym with him, each having a unique body shape. Typically, people commission characters from anime, or their own creations. Some of our friends have body types similar to what I get commissioned for, and, with their permission, they help me by posing for reference. These sessions are not sexual. I use them solely for artistic purposes. One day, my mother saw me on FaceTime talking to one of our mutual friends and directing him to pose for me. The only snippet she caught was me instructing a shirtless man to pose on his knees, making it an awkward situation for all parties involved. Fortunately, he sent several photos in that pose with different angles taken by his girlfriend. They have been references for me multiple times, and both are aware it's purely professional. My mother, without my knowledge, invited my boyfriend to dinner. During the meal, she asked if I had something to tell him. Confused, I said no but expressed my happiness about having him over. To my surprise, she then told him to brace himself, claiming that I cheated on him. We burst into laughter, and when he inquired about her statement, she explained that she saw me on the phone with a man on his knees. I clarified that it was an innocent art reference session and called our friend to confirm. Both he and his girlfriend assured my mother that they have been my personal models for a while. My mom apologized profusely and we all had a good laugh about the misunderstanding. Everything is fine now, but I couldn't help but find the situation amusing.
My girlfriend thinks I cheated because I watched Korn. My girlfriend and I have been together for a year. Since the beginning, everything has been amazing with her, and we share a desire to spend our lives together and build a family, given our shared values. Fast forward to a couple of weeks ago, I watched Korn a couple of times when she wasn't around, feeling the urge. I'm not one to cheat on my partner, and I never would, so I simply relieved myself. My girlfriend found out about it roughly a month later, when she noticed I hadn't cleared my search history. There wasn't much to begin with. Only 3 videos watched over a couple of weeks. When she confronted me, I admitted to watching it, and she was furious, feeling as if I had cheated on her by getting myself off to another woman. I reassured her that I could stop watching Korn if it made her uncomfortable. I genuinely don't mind giving it up. It was just something to ease an urge before she came home. She initially wanted to break off the relationship and have me move out, but after talking it through, we decided to continue our life together. We've revisited this topic a couple of times, and it still bothers her. Despite that, we committed to working towards our future together. Things were fantastic. I expressed my love for her more, and she shared her vision of our life together, including kids, our home, and our dreams. One night after going out with friends, we came home to watch a show together, and things escalated into sex due to teasing each other all day. After finishing, she got tired and went to bed. I followed her about 5 to 10 minutes later, after some routine tasks. When I got to bed, she asked where I had been. She had been asleep since coming to bed, and didn't know how long she'd been asleep. I told her it was only 5 to 10 minutes. We ended up cuddling and started having sex again. After it was finished, she asked what had me so turned on again, thinking she had already satisfied me. I explained that she did, but she turned me on, and I just wanted it again. She seemed bothered by this and didn't entirely believe me, thinking I might have seen something online that aroused me again. I reassured her by showing her what I was looking at during those 5-10 minutes, but she remained upset. I understood her perspective but was trying to express my love. Despite my efforts to calm her down, she said she had tried to get over what happened, but it constantly eats at her, and she feels like she doesn't know me anymore. She expressed the need for a break and decided to end the relationship. She left the house and is staying with her parents, and it's been about 3 days since that happened. I've been blocked on everything and don't have a way to contact her. I'm giving her space, but I just want my best friend home. Any advice on how I can go about this? My new girlfriend met her ex-fiancé for closure while I was recovering in the hospital. I've been dating a wonderful woman named Nat for about 3 months now. We hit it off really well, experiencing what feels like puppy love, and even dropping the L word after a month, that sort of thing. Her previous relationship was with her ex-fiancé, Tim, whom I can't help but think was a real jerk. My girlfriend is a genuine, kind-hearted, and loving person. She met Tim through her church, at an adult speed dating for Christians event. Despite being a stranger to everyone in her church, Tim managed to charm her. He took her on a couple of dates, during which he was excessively complimentary and sweet-talking. After 6 months, he proposed. But when it came to discussing wedding details, he would avoid the conversation, claiming they needed more money. He didn't want to discuss colors, groomsmen, or anything related to the wedding. Another 6 months later, she discovered he was cheating. Tim apologized, begged for a second chance, and, against her better judgment, she gave it to him. After yet another 6 months, found out he had never stopped cheating. He had been seeing multiple women throughout their entire relationship. The heartbreaking part for her was that, after catching him the first time, he continued texting other women for hookups as if nothing had happened. She eventually ended things and took a break from dating for about a year. We met at her job, where she works at a vet's office, as I frequently brought my dog for a health issue, and we eventually hit it off. Last week, I had a serious accident while running. I was hit by a car and ended up in the ICU for a couple of days with a chest tube. Although I recovered quickly, the incident was quite scary, especially on the first day. During my hospitalization, Tim reached out to Nat claiming he had heard about my accident on Facebook and wanted to let her know that he was praying for me. She's no longer actively practicing Christianity. He used this opportunity to apologize for how he treated her and offered any assistance she might need. He even suggested meeting for coffee to catch up before visiting me. Nat, being the sweet but somewhat naive person she is, agreed to meet him. During their meeting at Starbucks, he made a pass at her, attempting to manipulate her emotions after my accident. However, she stood her ground, rejecting his advances. This angered him, and he made inappropriate comments about our relationship. When Nat shared this incident with me, I felt uneasy, and asked why she even met with him in the first place. She explained that she wanted to hear him out, hoping for closure. I questioned why she needed closure, given that he was clearly a grade A jerk even before the coffee meeting. She admitted that despite knowing it was irrational, she still had lingering feelings for him. She was in love with the person she thought he was, not the real him, and finding it hard to move on from the envisioned future they had together. This led to a conflict between us, fueled by my insecurities. Feeling like I was second best and settled for, I asked her if, hypothetically, Tim had changed into the person she thought he was. Would she have left me for him? Unfortunately, she admitted that she might have tried to work things out with him. This devastated me, and I expressed feeling pretty low, knowing she would choose someone who had hurt her twice over me, while she insisted that it wasn't like that, and she only wants me. The emotional toll of this revelation lingered. I love her, and I appreciate her honesty, but overcoming these intense emotions has proven challenging. How can I move past this? I don't want to jeopardize the wonderful connection we have, but my insecurities are at an all-time high right now. Apologies for the lengthy post. These emotions are still quite raw.